Today I'm going to sew our new pattern, the 2 stitches Finley Hoodie. So as you can see, there's a couple of different versions of it. It's all pieced, so you can either make it in one colour or various colours. You can mix and match the pieces, and the size range is from 2 years all the way up to 14 years. Here's the instruction booklet. So you've got all the info that you need about how to make it, and then at the back there's a cool colouring sheet, so if you want to, you can plan. Now I'm going to make age 8 in 3 colours, but I'm not going to plan where they're placed too much. So anyway, here we go. Come and sew it with me. I've cut out all the pieces for my Finley hoodie because I'm planning on making some different variations. But for this one, I'm going to make a pieced version. So for each pattern piece, you have either a piece numbered 1, 2 or 3. 2 and 3 are the pieced versions and 1 is the full piece. And if you want, you can mix and match these, but I'm going to do the pieced version, so I'm pulling aside all the 2 and 3 pieces. The only pieces that you need for any version is the pocket, the hood pieces and the waistband and cuff pieces. So now I'm all cut out, ready to go, and now I just need to choose what piece is what. So I've got these 3 colours of lovely sweatshirt fleece, one jadey coloured, one bronzy coloured and one sort of corally coloured, and I really love this combo. At the back of the instruction book there is actually a colouring in thing, so you can plan your hoodie, but I decided I was just going to go for it and pull out random pieces for the colours and hope it works. My favourite method of cutting is with a rotary cutter and some pattern weights, and I really like the small rotary cutter because it means that you can cut round corners nice and easily, especially for children's clothes. So I'm just going to fold my piece and just start randomly cutting out fabrics. I always like to use a ruler for any of the straight edges because it's 10 times easier than just going it freehand, and it keeps all the fabric straight. And then for the curves I just freehand those. And then I'm just making some little snips for the notches, but just be really careful that it doesn't go further than the seam allowance, which is 1 centimetre for this. And you don't need to see me cut out all the rest of the pieces, but it's all done in exactly the same way. So pop that to one side and I'll see you when I've done all the rest of the cutting. Okay, so we're all cut out, and now the first thing we need to do is join those pieces 2 and 3 together. So for each pattern piece, there's the 2 and there's the 3, and we're going to join them together to make one piece. So for here we're joining the back bodice, and I'm just laying them right sides together. So there's the top and the bottom piece, and I'm just using some clips to clip them together. And don't forget to use the right type of needles for the project. So for this I'm using ballpoint needles. So one thing I do before I start any project, especially a stretch project, is I like to test the stretch stitches on my machine to see how they're reacting with that particular fabric. So I'm starting with a lightning stitch because I find that's generally a really good go-to. So let's see what that looks like. So you can see it's nice and small and it's stretching really well with the fabric, no broken stitches, and the seam just looks like a straight stitch. So I think I'm going to go straight ahead and use that. So this is just joining the top and the bottom of the front piece, the back piece and the sleeve pieces. So each one of those will end up being one piece after this. Okay, so next up is the pocket. So we're just going to do a little slit here to help hem the side edges easily. And then we're pressing in the sides by 1 centimetre, and we're going to top stitch those. And we'll do the same on both sides, but leave the top and the bottom clear. I decided I'd use a twin needle for this because I think it's going to look really good. And I've just used 2 random threads that tone with the colour of my pocket. They don't even match each other, but I think it's going to look good anyway. If you haven't used a twin needle before, don't worry, it's really easy. You're just going to use 2 spools of thread, thread them through your machine exactly the same way as you would normally do it. And you're going to do that right until the last step. The twin needle will fit in any sewing machine. It doesn't need to be a specialist one or anything like that, which is a really good thing. So when it comes to threading the needle, the first thread you're going to thread as normal and thread through the left-hand needle. And the second thread you're going to just skip the last thread guide and put it through the right needle. So they're together right up until that last step. And then just sew as normal. The bobbin thread will zigzag between the 2 top threads and it will give you a really neat finish on the front, and also on the back it finishes it off really nicely. It's a really nice and neat finish. So once we've top stitched that pocket, we're going to find exactly where to put it. So there's a marking on the pattern piece to tell you what level it's going to go, and then you also want to mark the centre point of the pattern. And then once you found the centre point of the main bit, you're going to find the centre point of the pocket. So I like to mark them both with a pin, but you can use a chalk or whatever. So we're going to match those up, and you flip the pocket, line it up with the line, match those 2 together, and then pin it into place. Nice and easy. So once you've got that into place, you're just going to baste along that bottom edge from the wrong side, and once that's stitched, you're going to top stitch with the twin needle, if you're using a twin needle, along that top edge. And you can see just how nice that finish looks. So now we're finally going to start constructing the garment, and we're going to sew the shoulder seams. So to make life awkward for myself, I decided last minute that I wanted to top stitch with the twin needle all my joined seams. So because this is a thick and bulky fabric, I'm trimming down one side of the seam allowance, and the long side I'll lay over this side to protect it, and I'll twin needle over it, and that should keep that really nice and protected, give a neat finish on the inside and that lovely top stitched effect on the outside. And I'm really glad I made the effort because it looks really, really neat. I'm really happy with that. Okay, so back to where we were, and now we're going to add the sleeves onto the main body. So we've got some notches. You've got 1 on the front and 2 on the back, and these should match notches that you've got in your sleeve piece. So you're going to lay them right sides together. So flip that over, and then you can start off by matching those notches and matching the edges. So you're going to ease the rest of that into place, and then once that's nicely eased in, just sew that shoulder curve, and do the same for both sleeves. So now we come to the hood. So the hood is made up of a gusset and 2 side pieces, and you're going to match the back of the gusset to the back of one side of the hood, and you're going to pin them right sides facing and sew all the way around that curve. And what you've done for one side of the hood, you're just going to repeat exactly the same for the other. So once you've done that, you want to press a 2 centimetre hem along the front opening, and then I've twin needled it again to give it that nice finish. So once you've used your twin needle, if you find you've got any excess hem sticking out, you can trim that off, so right back to the stitches to make it really neat. And it sort of mimics a cover stitch machine. So now my hood's complete, I'm popping it to one side to finish the rest of the jumper. So your jumper should now look something like this. And what you're going to do is you are going to, with the right sides together, flip it over so all your raw edges at the sides match. And now I've done that, I'm going to sew all the way from my cuff to my hem without stopping, and I'm going to do that on both sides. Okay, so now we're on to cuffs and waistband. So they're going to be made exactly the same way. So you're going to join them right sides facing along the short end. So just clip those together, do the same for the other cuff, and I'm just going to sew straight along there. So now that's done, we're just going to fold them in half with the wrong sides together so the cuff is the right way out, and I've just pressed those seams open. So now using that seam, you're going to find a mark that's directly opposite and then a mark that's halfway between those. So you're basically marking quadrants of your cuff. And now you've done that, you're going to do exactly the same on your sleeve, so marking it into 4. So now matching up that seam, you're going to place the cuff inside the sleeve. So the sleeve is the wrong way out, the cuff has got the right sides out, so it's right sides facing each other. And then you're going to just match up each of those 4 pins on each side. And then you're just going to sew all the way around. After you've done both sleeves, you want to repeat exactly the same process for the waistband. The only difference being that you're going to catch the bottom of the pocket in with the seam. Also, you can see here that you're going to need to stretch the waistband to fit into the sweatshirt. So just pin the points and then stretch it between each one. And then just sew it into place. And you can see now it's done that it's caught that pocket piece really nicely in, and we've matched up all the seams. And now the last step, putting in the hood. So you should have marked from your pattern pieces 2 notches on the side panels of the hood. So you're going to overlay one on top of the other one and just baste across that edge. I'm also going to mark the centre back of the hood gusset. And then going to mark the centre back and centre front of the neckline. And then with the body the wrong way out and the hood the right way out, you're going to put the hood inside through the neckline and match up your centre front markings and your centre back markings. And just put a few more clips or pins in just to hold it all nice and neatly into place. Now I've sewn it all and it's finally the big reveal, so I'm going to turn it the right way out and fingers crossed everything has worked out well. Yeah, I'm really pleased with it. All those colours have worked really well together, look at those. Lovely matching seams, oh really happy. And that is the Finley Hoodie by 2 Stitches Patterns. So you can find the links to everything below. I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope it was helpful. And I'll see you next time. Bye!